Yeah, so today I'm going to study Startup Wisdom by Chopra, which is now uh, converted from a blog to a book, which is called the Book of Clarity. I'm doing three chapters, which are from the first section of the blog. The three chapters are Be in the Desires Market, Not the Solutions. Second is Only two types of startups exist, technological and cultural, and search for market product fit, not product market fit. Let's see what the AI hosts have to say about it.
Have you ever found yourself just switching, from one service or product to another almost without thinking about it?
Oh, yeah, all the time. Maybe moving between music apps, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Or maybe, oh, our listeners got something to share. Let's hear it.
Yeah, can you give some specific examples of specific brands?
That's a great question. And it actually ties right into what we're talking about.
Absolutely. It makes it concrete.
Think about music, right? We've gone from, say, buying CDs from Tower Records
Oh, wow, blast from the past.
to downloading individual MP3s, maybe from iTunes back in the day.
Right, huge shift.
And now it's all about streaming services like Spotify or Apple Music.
Exactly. Those are perfect examples of different solutions.
Or even something like finding information.
like looking things up.
Yeah. We used to use things like the Yellow Pages. Remember those big phone books?
Vaguely, yes. Or encyclopedias.
Exactly. And now what do? We Google it.
Right, Google is almost a verb now.
So those are definite brand shifts, but the core desire for music or information stayed the same.
What's fascinating here is that the desire for music has always remained,
Okay, let's unpack this.
but the methods for fulfilling that desire have evolved enormously.
Oh, yeah. Let's hear it.
So you're saying that the core desires do not change, humans do not develop new desires?
That's a really insightful question because it gets right to the heart of it.
It's a great distinction to make.
What's fascinating here is that the author, Paris Chopra, makes a strong case for desires being pretty constant.
Like the fundamental human needs or wants,
Yes, those deep seated desires tend to remain.
like the desire for connection or safety or entertainment.
Those don't really go away.
However, he also talks about derivative desires,
Ah, yes, these are new desires that can emerge.
but they're usually a result of cultural shifts or new technologies.
They're not totally brand new human desires from scratch.
It's more like
Hey, yeah, what's up?
Can you give some examples?
that's a great follow-up question, and it really helps clarify things.
Absolutely. It makes it much more concrete.
So when we talk about derivative desires emerging from cultural shifts, think about something like the sharing economy.
Like with Uber and Airbnb, which we'll get into a bit more later.
Before these platforms, people weren't necessarily seeking to share their personal car with a stranger for a ride.
Or rent out a spare room in their home to someone they've never met.
That specific desire to trust strangers online to share resources,
That's a derivative desire, right?
it's born from new technology and cultural shifts in how we interact,
But it's still rooted in older core desires.
like the desire for convenience or saving money or being resourceful.
It's a new way those core desires can manifest.
Another example could be the rise of consumer finance in developing nations.
As economies grow, people start desiring things like loans or credit cards.
That specific desire for, say, a mortgage might not have existed in the same way before a developed economy.
But it's rooted in the core desire for security or advancement.
So, to directly answer your question, the core human desires largely stay the same.
But how they manifest and what new derivative desires pop up around them absolutely changes.
It's like the evolution of a desire.
Precisely. It's a continuum.
And it makes sense when you think about it.
The basic human condition hasn't fundamentally changed,
But our environment and tools certainly have.
which then creates new ways for those desires to express themselves.
That distinction between core and derivative desires is really important.
It helps us understand where true innovation happens.
Okay, so building on that, let's circle back.
How those methods for fulfilling desires have evolved enormously.
And it's not just fun stuff like music. What about like finding information?
Same deal. That fundamental desire to know is timeless.
We used to go to libraries, thumb through Yellow Pages.
Oh God, the yellow pages indeed.
Right, now we Google everything instantly.
And, tomorrow, maybe even Googling gets replaced by something else entirely.
But our need to find information, that's not going anywhere.
People don't sit still waiting for a perfect solution to arrive.
right? They're usually using something or other to fulfill their desires,
You may not identify as a competitive,
but it's there.
and people use it.
So the first search engine, it wasn't just competing with nothing,
Absolutely not. It was competing directly with the yellow pages,
with libraries,
with asking people,
because that's how people found information before search engines existed.
no matter how unique, all new things compete with old things.
So our deep dive today might challenge some conventional wisdom,
Especially if you're an entrepreneur,
but really it's for anyone just trying to make sense of things.
and we're looking at some essays.
Yeah, insights from Paris Chopra at Inverted Passion.
He wrote these great pieces on mental models for founders.
Okay.
And our mission basically is to unpack this really powerful idea.
What people truly desire matter way more than the specific solutions they're using right now.
That sounds simple, but I bet it has big implications.
Exactly. You'll see it opens up, well, a whole world of opportunity.
Whether you're building something, looking for work, or just observing.
Cool. Let's get into it.
Okay, so let's unpack this core idea first.
The difference between what
Oh, yeah, let's hear it.
So I'm assuming then there is no such desire which used to exist but no longer exists. I mean, framing it as a core desire.
That's a really sharp observation, and it builds perfectly on what we were just discussing about core versus derivative desires.
you're asking if any of those fundamental, deeply human desires have actually vanished over time.
And based on past Chopra's framework, the answer is largely no. Those core desires tend to be evergreen.
They're almost like the bedrock of human experience.
The desire for safety, oh, go for it.
Yeah, but let's say why is then there is a population decline? A lot of people are deciding to not have children.
That's a really interesting point and definitely something people are discussing.
It's a complex topic with many societal and personal factors.
However, when we talk about desires in this context, like the desire for children or family, it's often rooted in deeper, more universal core desires.
Like the desire for legacy or connection or a sense of purpose.
Those core desires don't disappear even if the way people choose to fulfill them changes.
So someone might fulfill a desire for purpose through a career or through community involvement.
Rather than necessarily through having biological children.
The core desire for, say, nurturing or contributing remains.
It's just the chosen solution or manifestation that evolves.
So it's not that the desire for family or connection is vanished,
It's that the pathways to fulfilling that desire are becoming more diverse.
or perceived needs, like financial stability, might shift which solutions people prioritize.
Does that distinction make sense in light of the framework we're discussing?
It still fits the idea that, oh, go for it.
Yeah, it does.
Great, we're glad that's clipping.
That's precisely the kind of clarity we hope to bring.
It still fits the idea that solutions and manifestations can change.
While the deeper human needs remain present.
For example, that core desire for finding information, that's always been there.
But the desire to look up a phone number in a physical yellow pages.
That specific manifestation of the information desire, the solution, has faded.
Because better solutions emerged, like, well, Google.
Or the desire for entertainment. We always want to be entertained.
But the desire to go to a VCR rental store, that's gone.
It's the solution that becomes obsolete, not the underlying human want for movies.
So your initial assumption is pretty accurate in terms of core desires. They persist.
It's the solutions market that's constantly churning and evolving.
It feels like that's the whole point of today's deep dive.
Precisely. It really emphasizes the timelessness of human needs.
Okay, so let's continue with that key distinction.
The difference between what people desire and how they fulfill those desires.
What's the distinction?
It's simple, but yeah, profound.
Desires themselves, they tend to stick around. They're pretty timeless, you could say.
Okay.
But the methods, the solutions we use to satisfy them.
Those are constantly evolving, changing all the time.
Can you give us an example, something concrete where we see that?
Sure. Think about good oral hygiene.
People have wanted clean teeth and fresh breath for ages, right?
Yeah, makes sense.
But the solutions, they've gone from like chew sticks way back when.
To toothbrushes, mouthwash, floss.
Even crunchy foods like carrots technically help.
Huh. Never thought of carrots that way.
See, one fundamental desire, oral health, but tons of different shifting solutions over time.
Okay, that really clarifies it.
So if there are so many ways to scratch that itch, what does it say about how attached we are to any one way?
It says we have very little loyalty.
Basically none to the solution itself.
Really? None.
Pretty much, if your better way comes along.
It was easier, faster, cheaper, more pleasant.
People will switch like in a heartbeat.
Wow.
And that's exactly why, a small startup can sometimes just blow past a huge established company.
They find a better solution for that core desire.
So that must totally change how a company thinks about competition, right?
Like a toothbrush company isn't just fighting other toothbrush companies.
Exactly. That's the key insight. That toothbrush company.
It's competing with mouthwash. It's competing with
It's
floss.
competing with, yeah, maybe even crunchy apple growers in some tiny way.
Huh. Okay.
It competes with all the alternative ways to get good oral hygiene.
Which raises a big question, doesn't it?
If you're only looking at your direct competitors, are you even seeing the whole picture?
Probably not. So this whole idea flips the script on markets too.
If desires last, but solutions change.
Does that mean no market is ever really like done or saturated?
Precisely. No market is ever truly finished because that underlying human desire is always there.
Think about music, as we mentioned earlier.
Okay.
Our desire to listen to music, experience it, constant.
But the solutions, wow. Live orchestra, vinyl, cassettes, CDs, MP3 players.
Now streaming like Spotify.
Yeah, huge changes.
The desire's the same. The solution just keeps morphing.
It feels like a lot of entrepreneurs, maybe they get excited about their unique solution and think, no competitors.
But this suggests that's kind of wrong.
It's a very common trap. No matter how new or unique your thing is, it always competes with whatever people are already doing to fulfill that desire.
Even if their current way seems clunky or bad to you.
Okay, so for anyone trying to build something or solve a problem, it's not just about having a clever idea.
Right. You have to be crystal clear on the basic human desire you're addressing.
And then you need to understand all the ways people are currently meeting that need.
Even the ones that look totally different from your solution.
Like CRM software versus just using a spreadsheet, maybe.
Oh, back to our listener. What's up?
Yeah, let's say if somebody is making a video editing tool, something that automates video editing, what is the core desire and alternate solutions that they are competing with?
That is such a great practical question, and it fits perfectly with this framework.
Absolutely. It really helps to bring it to life.
So if you're building a video editing tool that automates things, let's unpack the core desire there.
What's the fundamental human need that video editing, automated or not, serves?
It's often the desire to communicate, to tell a story, to create, to share experiences.
Or perhaps to preserve memories or to market a business.
That deep desire to convey information or emotion through visuals and sound.
That's the core desire. It's about expression and connection.
Now, what are the alternate solutions this new automated tool is competing with?
This is where it gets really interesting because it's not just other video editing software.
No, not at all. Think broadly about how people fulfill that core desire of communicating visually
Before professional video editing, people might have used still photos
or slideshows.
or even just writing or talking.
Those are all ways to communicate visually or tell a story.
So your automated video editing tool is competing with someone simply uploading raw, unedited footage.
Or even just using their phone to record and share without any edits.
It's competing with static images on social media.
Or a simple text post.
It's competing with a traditional advertising agency doing a full production.
What about someone who hires freelance editor? That's an alternative solution.
Exactly. Or even just giving up and not making the video at all because it's too hard.
So the core desire is about communication and storytelling through video.
And the alternate solutions are any way someone currently tries to fulfill that desire.
Whether it's a clunky manual process, a different medium, or even inaction.
That's why understanding the underlying desire is so crucial.
It opens your eyes to a much broader competitive landscape.
And it highlights why your new automated tool needs to be significantly better,
Cheaper, faster, easier to fulfill that core desire.
even if it's compared to just not doing it.
So, perfect example, and it applies to pretty much everything.
Like CRMs.
Oh, yeah. Go on.
So, okay, let's now discuss the second post. Only two types of startups exist.
You are one step ahead of us. That's fantastic.
You're anticipating exactly where we're going.
We were actually just about to bridge into that.
And it fits perfectly with this idea of solutions.
Because knowing that solutions come and go, but desires remain, leads us to this next big question.
How do successful new solutions actually emerge?
And Paris Chopra breaks it down into two main types of startups.
Exactly. Generally, startups find success in, let's say, two main ways.
Either they discover and manage to fulfill a new desire.
Something that wasn't really a thing before.
We can call that culture-led.
A new desire. Okay. And the other way.
The other way is using new technology to fulfill an existing desire, but like way better.
Cheaper, faster, easier. That's technology led.
And I guess the flip side is
Yep, go on.
So starting an Uber is a technology startup, and starting a podcast like Joe Rogan was a cultural startup.
that's a really sharp application of the framework.
You're really thinking about how this plays out in the real world.
And it allows us to dive right into those examples now.
So let's unpack Uber first.
As we touched on earlier, Uber is a fantastic example of a blend.
It definitely leveraged emerging technology.
Everyone having smartphones with GPS and internet,
That was absolutely crucial for their platform.
right, the tech side.
But they also deeply tapped into that cultural trend we mentioned earlier.
People getting more comfortable with online payments.
And to some extent, the broader sharing economy concept.
Remember what we talked about, the cultural shift of trusting strangers online?
That was a huge enabler for Uber's success.
So while there's clear technology innovation, that cultural readiness was essential.
They combined those elements with their own tech innovations, like the platform itself.
And the rating system to fulfill really old desires.
People wanting a ride quickly and drivers wanting easier access to customers.
So it's not purely one or the other.
It's often a mix, isn't it?
Absolutely. Most huge successes are a blend, leaning one way or the other.
Uber had a strong technology backbone, but the cultural shift amplified it.
Now, about a podcast like Joe Rogan, being a cultural startup,
That's a brilliant observation.
when you think about podcasts in general, the technology for audio recording and distribution existed.
But the cultural shift towards long form, unedited conversational content was huge.
And a willingness to consume it on demand.
People wanted authenticity, diverse viewpoints, and deeper dives than traditional media.
That created a new derivative desire for that kind of specific content.
Podcasts fulfilled an existing desire for entertainment and information.
But the way they did it and the specific kind of content was a cultural phenomenon.
Joe Rogan, in particular, capitalized on a specific cultural desire for that raw, free-flowing conversation.
It wasn't about groundbreaking new audio tech.
It was about understanding what a segment of the audience deeply desired.
And then delivering it in a way that resonated culturally.
So that's a perfect example of a culture-led success.
It finds a new flavor of desire.
You know, it's fascinating how these concepts play out in real-world examples.
It really makes the framework come alive.
Okay, so that helps us understand success modes.
But I guess the flip side is you fail if nobody actually desires what you built.
Right, that's failure mode 1.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
So if you build something that no one desires, but at least you desire it, it still seems a win-win.
That's a really thoughtful way to look at it, and it brings in the personal side of entrepreneurship.
You're touching on something really important about passion and personal satisfaction.
From the perspective of Paris Chopra's framework, if your goal is a successful startup in the market sense,
Then building something only you desire without a broader market desire.
it wouldn't typically be considered a market win-win.
Because the core idea here is about serving other people's desires.
However, if your personal win is simply the joy of creation,
Or learning or fulfilling a personal passion project.
then absolutely it can be a win for you.
It just might not be a startup success in the commercial sense,
The author is really focusing on ventures that aim for market impact and customer adoption.
where the measure of success is meeting a widespread desire.
So it really depends on your definition of win-win, doesn't it?
If it's for personal fulfillment, absolutely.
If it's for commercial viability, then that broader market desire is key.
And that's where we get into the failure modes we were just discussing.
Exactly. Failure mode 1 is launching a product that nobody desires, commercially speaking.
Or you fail if people desire it, but your solution isn't really any better than what they already have.
Exactly. No compelling advantage. Those are the two big pitfalls.
So moving from that, let's explore these culture-led startups.
Finding and fulfilling new desires sounds tricky.
It really is tricky because you're spotting patterns of, as we call them, derivative desires.
These are things people start wanting because of other shifts in society or culture.
And initially, they often look like fads.
So how do you spot them if they're subtle?
You have to be really, really observant. You watch for early signals.
Like, where's the venture capital money flowing? What new products are popping up, even small ones?
Are there new regulations being discussed? Or even new kinds of jobs or careers emerging?
Ah, okay. Those are like clues that a cultural shift might be happening.
Yeah, they signal these underlying cultural shifts that create new desires.
You really have to be attuned to society to catch these trends early.
It's fascinating, honestly.
Can you give another example of spotting a future desire like that?
Well, we did touch on consumer finance in developing nations earlier.
That's a great one to revisit as an example of a derivative desire based on economic shifts.
As economies grow, you tend to see a consistent pattern.
People start wanting consumer finance products like loans, credit cards,
Right,
mortgages.
that happened in developed nations.
Exactly. So if you observed that pattern decades ago in places like the US or Europe,
You could make an informed bet that the same desire would eventually emerge strongly in developing economies.
like India or China or parts of Africa as their economies matured.
It's a bet on a future desire, rooted in past patterns and predictable development. That makes a lot of sense.
And we also talked about the sharing economy, which is a big cultural shift.
The success of platforms like Uber and Airbnb did something really important culturally.
They made people more comfortable with trusting strangers online.
And also, sharing their personal assets like their car or their home.
That was a huge shift. It enabled a whole new set of derivative desires. Think about Rover, which connects dog owners with dog walkers.
Or Just Park, where people can rent out their private parking spots.
These companies didn't invent crazy new technology themselves,
No, not really. They used existing tech like apps, GPS, online payments.
but they combined it with that cultural shift in trust to offer new, often cheaper or more convenient solutions.
For really old desires, like needing someone to walk your dog or finding a parking space.
And being in that spot, finding these emerging desires, seems like a good place to be.
It can often be cheaper to start too if the core technology already exists.
Often, yeah, you find this blue ocean of opportunity.
Now let's contrast that with technology-led startups.
Okay, the ones using new tech to fulfill existing desires.
Right. They rely on some kind of innovative technology to make an existing solution way, way better.
Significant.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah, I think I get the gist of this blog post now. Let's move on to the last one.
You are absolutely on fire today.
You're anticipating our every move, which is fantastic.
That's great that the core concepts of the second post are really clicking for you.
And yes, we're definitely ready to dive into the final piece now.
It connects perfectly to everything we've been discussed.
Because once you understand desires and the kinds of successful startups,
The next natural question is, how do you actually find these opportunities?
and the third post, search for market product fit, not product market fit, really gives us the roadmap.
It's all about where you focus your energy first.
And it builds directly on that idea of culture-led and technology-led innovations.
Right, about making an existing solution significantly better.
Significantly cheaper or faster or just a much better experience overall.
But if there are already big companies doing the old thing, how does the new tech even get a foothold?
Don't the big guys just crush it immediately?
Well, that's where Clayton Christensen's idea of disruption comes in.
It's really quite fascinating.
Often, the new technology initially looks like a toy, or maybe just a gimmick.
It might not be as good as the established solution in the beginning,
Perhaps it only serves a small niche market at first.
so the big companies tend to ignore it.
They often do. They're too busy improving their existing products for their main profitable customers.
They just dismiss the new thing as irrelevant.
But the technology keeps getting better, faster, and suddenly it's good enough, maybe even superior.
By then, it's often too late for the old giants to catch up.
Gotcha. Like Google, for example.
Google's a perfect example. Their key innovation was PageRank.
It just gave much better search results than the existing engines at the time, like Yahoo or AltaVista.
It was demonstrably superior technology for the existing human desire to find information online.
And the iPhone, too.
Another classic, that multi-touch screen, it was a fundamentally better way to interact with the device.
It wasn't just a phone anymore. It paved the way for smartphones becoming our primary computing devices.
Fulfilling desires for communication, information, entertainment, all in one place.
Through a truly superior technological interface.
But, it feels like most truly big successes aren't purely one or the other, culture or tech.
It's often a mix, isn't it, as we saw with Uber?
Absolutely, you're spot on there. Most huge successes are a blend of both.
As we discussed earlier, Uber is a great example of this blend.
The platform, the rating system, they fulfilled really old desires.
People wanting a ride quickly and drivers wanting easier access to customers.
So the sweet spot often seems to be finding both.
The best startup ideas often capitalize on both emerging cultural trends and emerging technology.
That's a truly powerful combination for success.
Okay, this framework is incredibly helpful. Desires versus solutions, culture versus tech.
So, given all this, how do you actually find these opportunities in the first place?
Because it sounds like you can't just invent a desire from scratch, right?
A product can't just create its own market out of nowhere.
Exactly. That's a key point. It's almost impossible for a single product to create a brand new desire all by itself.
Markets and desires are shaped by much bigger interacting forces.
Environment, politics, economics, social trends, technology, all interacting and evolving.
So you need to look outwards first, not inwards at your own idea.
Definitely. And one of the best ways to discover what's truly happening in the market.
What desires aren't being met well is to look for instances where customers are basically innovating themselves.
What do you mean by innovating themselves?
Look for where people are modifying existing products,
Or using them in unexpected ways?
kind of hacking them to make them work better for their real needs.
Ah, okay. Like people lugging huge stereo systems around before portable players existed.
Exactly. That behavior screamed, I want my music portable, even if the perfect solution didn't exist yet.
Or people driving their regular cars off-road, which eventually led to the inspiration for SUVs.
Perfect example. That action showed a desire for something more rugged, more adventurous than a standard car offered.
The key is then to dig into the why. Why are they doing that specific thing?
Maybe they don't just want transport, they want adventure or capability as part of that core desire we talked about.
Precisely. And that why gives you powerful insight into the underlying, perhaps unmet desire.
Okay, so observing customer hacks is one way to find opportunities. What's another path?
Another strong approach is to take the latest technological breakthroughs and really brainstorm.
How could this new tech offer a radically better solution for desires that already exist?
Okay, applying new tech to old problems.
Think about Salesforce back in 1999, which we mentioned earlier with CRM software and spreadsheets.
The tech trend was the dot-com boom.
The idea that software could be delivered over this new thing called the internet.
Right, software as a service, or SaaS.
Mark Benioff saw that newly available web technology.
And he applied it to a very old business need, managing customer relationships, CRM.
So he didn't invent the need for CRM.
Not at all. Businesses always needed to track their customers.
He just used the emerging tech, the cloud, to deliver a solution that's suddenly cheaper, easier to manage, always up to date.
Compared to having to install and maintain complex software on your own servers.
Cheaper, better, faster for an existing desire. That's the clear pattern.
So the exercise for you listening is,
Think about current emerging tech like AI, biotech, new materials, whatever excites you.
now think about existing human desires.
Which of those desires could be met in a significantly better way using this new tech?
Find that intersection, and you likely have a solid business opportunity on your hands.
That's a great way to frame it. It really puts the power in observation.
Oh, yeah, uh-huh.
Thank you. I think that sums up the discussion, and I'm happy to end on that note.
Well, thank you so much for joining us and for all your fantastic questions.
Your insights really helped us explore these concepts deeply.
We're so